When you picture invasive species, you probably think of something large or aggressive, maybe a snake, a wild pig, or a plant overtaking a forest. But what about something deemed harmless, like a frog? According to a recent Popular Science article, the American bullfrog has been silently devastating native wildlife in California's Yosemite National Park. Welcome to When Frogs Go Too Far. Originally introduced in the 1950s, American bullfrogs, Lithobates catesbeianus, were brought over from the eastern United States, not as a deliberate effort to populate Yosemite, but rather through accidental introductions, and in some cases, for pest control and as a food source. These bullfrogs are not native to the Yosemite ecosystem. They're opportunistic predators, meaning they'll eat just about anything that fits in their mouths. One unexpected consequence? Juvenile turtles. A new study found that in areas populated by bullfrogs, the northwestern pond turtle, Actinomys marmorata, is disappearing, and the ones that remain are larger and older, having grown too big to be eaten or to simply fit in the frog's mouth. Essentially, bullfrogs are thinning out an entire generation of turtles before they have the chance to grow up. According to a professor at the University of California Davis Department of Wildlife, Fish, and Conservation Biology, Brian Todd, researchers removed bullfrogs from select ponds and saw a notable recovery. Baby turtles reappeared, and so did native amphibians. This confirmed what ecologists suspected. The bullfrogs were acting as an invasive predator, warping the natural food web and forcing native species out. It's a textbook example of ecological imbalance driven by human-introduced species. What stood out to me was how subtle and destructive this kind of invasion can be. I've always admired both frogs and turtles, and I never imagined a frog could be this disruptive. I've been to Yellowstone, and I've always had a dream of visiting every single national park in the United States. Stories like this remind me that parks aren't just scenic, they're wild, living systems that depend on balance. Thus, I care deeply about conservation biology, and the story really hit me. It's a classic example of how human interference, however unintentional, can throw an entire food web into chaos. In biology, we've talked about invasive species, biodiversity loss, and the complexity of ecosystem dynamics. This case touches all of those. It also raises ethical questions about how we intervene in natural systems. Bullfrogs did not spread on their own. Humans brought them here. And now, conservation biologists are left to decide how to clean up the damage without causing more. In the end, this isn't a story about scary frogs or helpless turtles. It's about how delicate ecosystems really are, and it shows that even a seemingly small introduction can lead to decades of disruption. The science is clear. Sometimes, the best way to protect nature is to understand when we've already done enough and to try to preserve what we still have while we have it. Thank you so much.